Hey everybody, my name is Nick and welcome to Rogue Animal Channel. Today we're going to be going over how to set up a Tegu enclosure, and then in a separate video I'll be going over the hidden costs and the pros and cons of having a Tegu. Right. The first thing you're going to need is an enclosure. So right here we have 60 gallon. As they get bigger, you're going to need to upgrade their tank size. The smallest tank I would recommend is a 60 gallon. Some people put them in 40 gallons, but to me it seems like it's too small. As full grown adults, you're going to need to give them a large enclosure. I recommend no less than a 6x3x3 just because how big they are, and you're going to need to give them space for their water bowls, space for them to burrow and everything. That's the smallest I would recommend. Some people use whole rooms as their Tegu enclosures. So the second thing you're going to need is substrate. We use a combination of cypress mulch and coconut husk just because when we first got her, she started chewing on the cypress mulch and we were afraid that she was going to get impactions and stuff. The coconut husk is a little bit smaller particles and they can digest it easier. And the cypress mulch lets them burrow. And we put like a big enough layer that they can dig and bury themselves. So here's the coconut husk we use. We use Eco-Earth, but you can use other brands that are just as good. As you can see, we have a pretty good mix of the two. This just helps them burrow, and then they're not as likely to get impactions with the coconut husk. One thing I forgot to add was that we use coconut husk because it holds moisture well, and Tegus like high humidity. Okay, so the third thing you're going to need is you're going to need a water dish, a food bowl, and some decor. We use driftwood, any like decorations you get from your local pet store, all of that kind of works. We had some leftover stuff from like my bearded dragons and snakes, so we got to save a few bucks. So the decor doubles as a basking spot and quality of life. So the fourth thing you're going to need is you're going to need a tight fitting lid and lights. We had gotten given this enclosure from a friend, so it didn't come with a lid. So I built this lid myself. It's fairly easy. I just pancaked a mesh wire in between, and then I made it so it fits perfectly in the slots. So it fits on pretty tight, as you can see. It's hard to lift up. Tegus are jumpers and they can climb, so a tight fitting lid is required. For the heating, you're going to want to put the heating lamp on one side and then have a gradient slope of their heat because they like a really hot basking spot, and then they need room to cool off. They need a UVB light because the UVB helps them break down calcium and vitamin D3. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Tegus are easy to find, and it's easy to make that impulse buy without thinking about the stuff that you're going to need and the cost that it's going to have, because you're going to need to buy, if you don't have an enclosure already, you're going to need to buy one, and you're going to have to upgrade it at each stage of its growth. So you can save like the lights and the decor and stuff, but the tanks themselves are expensive unless you build them yourself. I hope this will give you a better understanding of things that you will need to have a happy, healthy tank.